Left jab, uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best, you gotta show me son. Actions over words, baby boy, is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports,
What's good, everyone? WCS back on the boulevard once again. First in the building, Big Blunts and Boxing on deck. What's good? Activate the like button. Yes, sir. Sir Senior on deck. What's good with it, Sir Senior? Samar Warren on deck. Peace and blessings, love. Salute WCS. Lost all the boxing. The LAB. What's good? What's good? Salute to everyone that's on deck. I see you. And yeah, we got some hot grease this morning, and it's gonna pertain to some of my listeners too. You know what I'm saying? It's not gonna just be about that usual hot grease. It's gonna be about, you know, the aerosexuals, but it's gonna be about my listeners too. It's gonna basically cover my listeners. You know what I'm saying? Because we're a team, right? We're a team. So I wanna go through some things. First of all, I want to give a big shout out to the supporters of the channel. You know what I'm saying? You already know what it is. The supporters of the channel is what makes everything work for WCS. I appreciate y'all. Bar none. You know what I'm saying? Salute. Hold on 1 second. Okay, let's get it. Welcome to another Hot Grease Chronicles 105 over 105. And this Hot Grease Chronicle is titles matter or not. Titles matter or not. But first, I want to address something that went on yesterday. I don't want to address you, the chat, along with me. All right. I tell people all the time, certain things I do, I don't give no forewarning. Always talking about, you know, stuff being educated. And also I read off, you know, some of the articles that is put out here, because if you're a true boxing fan, you know, you pay attention to what I'm saying and you paying attention to what the article is saying. Yesterday, I did a live on Canelo Alvarez. Who hears me talk about Canelo Alvarez like I did yesterday? Nobody. I felt it was interesting to speak on that directly as an overlay to the article for which it was written. I felt, to be honest with you, I just felt like it's a perfect example on what we deal with boxing news, when we get boxing news and when we don't get boxing news. What I mean for that, we trying to find out when the fight date is. We can't find out when it is, right? But the information that we are privy to, sometimes it's just handed out to us, and it's a little bit too sweet to be true. You know what I'm saying? It's too sweet to be true because a lot of capping goes on in boxing. A lot of dishonesty goes on in boxing, and it's never going to stop. So I did a live yesterday on Canelo Alvarez, strictly based off Boxing News 24. This is not something I made up or anything. I did a whole entire majority of my live was based on Canelo Alvarez and what they said. What they said was, Team Canelo said they was offered a fight from Floyd Mayweather for $1 million when he was 18, right? I did the entire live, y'all, based off the information of Boxing News 24. I didn't change up anything that I did my research on or nothing. If you go back to my live, I want to find one person in my live that tried to correct me. One person that tried to correct me. I don't mind being corrected, but I did a whole live. I told you, I just don't do lives based off what everybody else is talking about. I did an entire live, people, based off the Boxing News 24 that they said Floyd Mayweather had offered Canelo $1 million when he was 18 years old. Not only that, I kept saying what during the whole time? Floyd would have stopped Canelo if he would have fought him when he was 18. I kept reiterating that. He would stop Canelo hands down if he would have stepped in there at 18 years old. I put it out there. Nobody corrected me at all. The whole time, Canelo was born July 18th, 1990. Nobody correct me. I never said his birthday, none of that. It was for a reason. I did put subtle hints out there that Floyd Mayweather would have stopped Canelo if he fought him at 18 years old. Now, the wild part about it is that this is a perfect example on what I did mention in my live too, that Team Canelo is still thinking about that Floyd Mayweather loss. They're still thinking about that. Canelo wished to the holy God that Floyd Mayweather woke up one day and said, you know what? I think I can get like 200 plus million, 300. I want to fight Canelo. Nobody's not going to talk about how old Floyd is right now, because Canelo is 32 years old, I believe, right? Nobody's going to talk about how old he is. They're going to say both fighters are old now. And, you know, they got wear and tear at the back end of their career. And this would be a good fight. But check this out. Canelo was born July 18th, 1990. At that time, if you look on his box rec, when he would have been 18 would have been 2008, right? So 2008, around the July time frame, his last opponent prior to turning 18 would be Miguel Vasquez, who was 21-2. Miguel Vasquez, all right? If you move on from Miguel Vasquez all the way up to when he actually fought Floyd Mayweather, it was several fights up the road, all right? He didn't fight Floyd Mayweather the 2013, September 2013, September 14, 2013. How would Canelo be then? If he was born 1990, July 18th, and he fought Floyd Mayweather September 2013, how old would Canelo have been when he fought Floyd Mayweather? Can you put it in the chat, please? Can y'all put that in the chat? How old would he have been, y'all? if he was born July 18th, 1990, and he fought Floyd, because they say Floyd offered them $1 million when he was 18. Floyd wouldn't have ever seen or heard of Canelo Alvarez at that time because his fight was in Mexico, right? Why would they pay him $1 million? He's coming off of Miguel Vasquez. So when he stepped in with Floyd, how old was Canelo? If he was born 1990, July 18th, and he fought Floyd September 14, 2013, how old would he have been? Anybody? Anybody? I know we ain't quiet. Oh, hell no. I know we ain't quiet. I'm going to give y'all time to put that in the chat. I appreciate you, Samad. Shaw News. Shout out to him, got Shaw News, the Sauce Experience, AK Showtime Shaw in the building this morning. So, Canelo would have been 23 years old, which is a far reach from if you was to subtract 4 years, right? If you would subtract, you know what I'm saying, those amount of years back when he would have been 18 years old. It's not even 4 years, y'all. None of the numbers are adding up when it comes to Team Canelo. With them saying Floyd offered them $1 million when they was several fights away. When I mean several fights away when he fought Miguel Vasquez, to the point of when he stepped in there with Floyd Mayweather. Y'all want to know how many fights? Let's count them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. 22 fights. From the time he fought Miguel Vasquez to the time he stepped in there with Floyd Mayweather, he had 22 fights. So during that time, we know the value of Canelo had not yet reached the pinnacle for him to be recognized as one of those $1 million fighters. He had 22 fights in between his last fight before, you know, he would be the 18-year mark, to the point when he stepped in there with Floyd Mayweather. That is a significant difference. If you listen to my live, just listen to it. I gave you the entire live based off the article for which it was written. I didn't want to say anything. I didn't want to sit up there. I wasn't making up no fake news. I went off the article as it was written, just to give you all an indication of how the mainstream media is puppetizing us once again. Now, I know some of you heard other streams. I ain't even saying anything on the other stream. I heard other streams talking about it and everything, but no one corrected me on my live. No one corrected me. No one corrected me to expose the bogus reporting. They put this information out there and they grown like I am, y'all. That's why I tell you all to pay attention to the media that's out here. Why do you think I picked Canelo and Floyd's situation to talk about when we got Devin Haney, Lomachenko, when we have so many other fights? We can talk about Crawford and Spence all day. We can talk about Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua. When do you hear me talking about Floyd Mayweather and Canelo Alvarez? For real, I don't even really talk about Floyd like that. I don't talk about Canelo like that. It's maybe like, I would say on one hand that I did live streams on Canelo. But when it comes down to this guy who reported that, and let me give you his name, right? Let me give you his name. And hit the like button if you're in the building. No, and don't say I was giving you fake news. I wasn't giving you fake news or anything. I'm going off the article as it was written. This guy from Boxing News, Alan Fox, basically put an article out there. Alan Fox from Boxing News 24 put this article out there. He wrote the article. And look, all the way through the article, you get to the end, some would say that Mayweather is an example of cherry picking. Opportunists who spots an opportunity to make easy money against popular novice and then pounces like a vulture. I read this to y'all, man. I read what he closed with. Let me go to the one before that. Mayweather never showed interest in fighting Canelo again, even though he would have made massive money. And much more what he's getting with the exhibition matches against YouTubers, influenced MMA fighters, and obscure people that few fans have ever heard or seen before. This is, you know, y'all remember me reading this? 4 years later, still vastly inexperienced and never having fought quality opposition, a 22-year-old Canelo fought Mayweather in 2013 at age 22. Once again, never having fought quality opposition, the 22-year-old Canelo fought Mayweather in 2013 at age 22. I read this. But Canelo on Mayweather, they offered me the fight when I was 18. If you look back at Miguel Vasquez, who the hell was looking for Canelo Alvarez when he fought Miguel Vasquez, bro? When he was 18, supposedly, who was looking for Canelo? Who put the word out that they was he signed? Who was his trainer? Was he with somebody that was important as Eddie Reynoso right now? Was he? Somebody, I just need help with this, because if you go back to his opponent when he fought Miguel Vasquez, I'm about to screen share this. Hold on. When he fought June 28, 2008, when he fought Miguel Vasquez, Canelo was 19-0. 19-0. So all of a sudden, Canelo Alvarez was being touted at 19-0 by Floyd Money Mayweather. 19-0-1. Floyd Mayweather was looking for Canelo Alvarez at 19-0-1. Somehow, some way, at 19-0-1, Floyd Mayweather was offering $1 million to a fighter like Canelo Alvarez, who hasn't did anything in his career. Is that, and not only that, people, I just need to highlight something else. Canelo was coming off Francisco Villanueva, who was 5-17-2, and Floyd Mayweather was offering $1 million. That is outstanding money right there. Anybody know who was the scout who was out there scouting at that time? Do y'all know who was out there scouting this monster who was fighting in New Mexico at that time in 2008? Do y'all know? Do y'all know? Because he was just coming off 4-15-2. Francisco Villanueva, a 9th round KO. You know what I'm saying? A 9th round KO. Not only that, y'all, Canelo Alvarez was holding down tight in Mexico, fighting this same guy twice. He fought him, stopped him in the 9th round, and then fought him again before he stepped in there with Miguel Vasquez. And not only that, there's so many inconsistencies because him fighting Francisco Villanueva for a second time prior to stepping in there with Miguel Vasquez, he won a split decision in the rematch. And Floyd Mayweather was looking to pay this guy $1 million, huh? I got you. I got you. I got you. I sure do. I got you. I totally get it. Don't be mad at me. I didn't put nothing out. I freaking covered that shit just like it's posted. Just like it posted, man. They put this out that 4 years later, Canelo was 23 years old. The positive outlook on him stepping in the ring with Floyd Mayweather at 23 years old may have some justifiable merit to it. Because that was about the age he fought Floyd Mayweather. But it's not adding up when they say, when I was 18, he offered me $1 million. You know what I'm saying? Because 18, him being born July 18th, 1990, it just don't add up too much. Now, maybe we might have some Cuban birth certificates floating around over there that slipped in his pocket. He may not be the age he say he is. He may be extremely older. I doubt it. But all I'm saying is the numbers lied in this case. The numbers lied straight to your face. The numbers lied. Some other channels got it right. But that's why I did my hot grease this morning. And I even put it out. It's primarily based off something else, but I want to add this hot grease onto it. Because I did an entire live yesterday and I said Floyd would have stopped Canelo, period, if he would have gotten there when he was 18 years old. And nobody raised a brow. They didn't check. They didn't fact check and see how old Canelo was. None of that. But the one thing that stood out to me about this, I remember when Canelo fought Floyd Mayweather. I remember distinctly when he fought Floyd Mayweather. It's just been so many tutorials and documentaries on this. And I say, dang, Floyd was in search of Canelo. Went, what? Because Canelo, when he was going through his, what they call it, the Mexican tour, the tour of Mexico, around that time when he was a teenager, I remember people still saying he was over there touring Mexico. Even some people that I know that did security over there for other boxers seeing Canelo in Mexico. That's a fact. But he went in there with Francisco Villanueva with a 9th round stoppage. And then he had one fight in between. And he went in there for a rematch prior to stepping in there for his fight at 18. When he turned 18, Miguel Vasquez. I don't see Floyd for 20-some fights. Toby Bartlett in the building. I see you. What's good across the pond? Yes, sir. We're global once again. Whenever Toby's in the building. Samad said, W says, then Floyd tell Team Canelo that if he wanted to, meaning Floyd, that Canelo had to fight and beat Trout first. He did. He did. He fought Trout first. So 18-year-old Canelo wasn't on the radar. Wasn't on the radar, but if you look on his resume, you will see that name up there at the top. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to names that we can relate to, like the Austin Trouts, which I mentioned on my live, Josecito Lopez, Shane Mosley, Kermit Cintron. You know what I'm saying? He fought Austin Trout. You know what I'm saying? April 2013. And then that September 2013, he fought Floyd Mayweather. But look at my live. Listen to my live, man. No one corrected me in there. I don't know if it's just the rhythm and flow, but I basically went off the article that Boxing News 24 wrote. I went off the news that they put out to the public. And it's a perfect example of why I speak about puppetizing the media. They puppetize us all the time, bro. I mean, puppetizing the listeners. They puppetize us all the time. These are mainstream media. You don't know who to believe. It's so messed up. And look, it's only like this in MMA, really. It's really like this in MMA. I mean, it's not like this in MMA. It's really just like this at boxing all the time. Like, who couldn't determine how old to kind of fact check what they was talking about? No, they put it out there because it kind of blends in with the little momentum that's going on over there. You know what I'm saying? With Floyd, Tank Davis, you know, rehydration clause, being that he fought, you know, Canelo Alvarez at a weight, you know what I'm saying, that's not normal. You know what I'm saying? Even though Canelo rehydrated up to 165 and Floyd was at 150, you know, the media put out there what they want you to believe. Boxing as we know it, it is done. Too much money at stake to care about belts. So I just wanted to put that little bit out there. All you have to do is listen to my live yesterday. Look at the comments. I did a whole stream based off Boxing News 24. I read articles all the time. Like, I don't come on here all the time, but also I don't, you know, as I frown upon fake news, I didn't put out no fake news. I went off and did a live stream off one article from a prominent mainstream media outlet. This is what one of their authors put out there to the boxing public. They wanted to sell to you that Floyd presented $1 million to Canelo when he was 18. And I kept emphasizing that if he would have stepped in there with Floyd at 18, he would have been stopped. I kept saying it. Absolutely, he would have been stopped. He would have been stopped. The only person that came over here trolling was somebody that's saying, okay, how many belts Floyd got at super middleweight? How many it is? You know, they just over here trolling about Canelo. But they wasn't really paying attention to the title itself, all Boxing News 24. It's not something I created. This is what goes on in the media. So all I'm saying, chat, pay attention more often. You have the keyboard in front of you. I know some of you choose to fact check sometime during the live stream and sometimes after the live stream. But you go over there to that live stream. I don't think it was one person that it pinged them. It pinged and said, man, that's no way that can be true. Looking at BoxRec, looking Canelo's wiki, looking at his birthday, and looking at what they're talking about, there's no way in hell he could have did that. Why would Floyd pick Canelo Alvarez, who wasn't even really doing anything spectacular back then at 18 years old. You know what I'm saying? For him to really get any shine like that, he wasn't doing anything. He wasn't on the radar. James on deck, what's good? Canelo said Floyd offered him $1 million at 18 years old on the Zone, the making of Canelo Alvarez. It's on there, WCS. I saw it 100%. I appreciate that, Toby. One love to the OG WCS and everyone in the chat. Salute to Cam Edwards on deck. What it do, Cam? Good morning. So SB90, what's good? I just wanted to put that up there. What's your thoughts on that? Y'all tell me what's your thoughts on that. Just put in chat. What's your thoughts on that? What's your thoughts, man? If you was born July 18, 1990, how old would you be if Floyd, pretty much offered you $1 million back then when you was 18 years old? Not only that, the fact that when you turn 18, based off your last fight before you actually turned 18, Miguel Vasquez, you fought Carlos Jerez, Larry Mosley. I read this off now. Raul Pinson, Luis Fitch, Yuri Gonzalez, Michel Hernandez, Jefferson Goncalves. That's the last fight before he turned 19 years old. He turned 19 years old after that fight. These are the fights he had remaining. 3, 4, 7, Carlos Baltimore. 8, Lovemore Indu. 10, Matthew Haddon. 11, Ryan Rhodes. Alfonso Gomez, Kermit Sanchez, and Austin Trout. He still had a pretty good amount of fights. You know what I'm saying? Before he stepped in there with Floyd Mayweather, which adds up nicely to 23 years old. So let's talk about the task at hand when it comes to the Hot Grease Chronicles 105. We must address some things about the Section 8 media that is going on right here, right now in this era. If you don't know what Section 8 media is, I'm about to explain to you what it is. Because obviously, I don't want to disrespect some of the boxers from the profession that they was in. But some of you have bumped your motherfucking head. Sean Porter, you have bumped your everlasting noggin. Now, I know while you was a professional fighter, you used that head a lot. I used to call that head the human helmet. Yes, sir. You, along with your team, everybody else had on equipment, and you came out there with pass on down the cleats, and you had no helmet on while you was playing football. Now it's all adding up because you come out here and just say things that just don't make no sense at all there, Sean Porter. I know when you used to run through the hole or whatever position you play and you made that helmet, the head contact, the person that got hit, they fared the worst. I get it now. You always in shape. I give you that. You always in shape. But I'm telling you, you are the leader. You are the founder, the CEO of Section 8 freaking media when it comes to fighters that's not even considered that old. You're not even considered that old. You're not even considered decrepit, Sean Porter. Your record is 31-4 and 1, 17 knockouts, and we all know who retired you. Even during the point of retirement, I looked at that last fight and I said, you know what, Crawford just that good to frustrate Sean Porter to start beating the canvas. I was having a conversation with myself. I got it. But now I'm digging a little bit deeper. Like I said, I have about 2 to 3 credits, you know what I'm saying, in psychology. And I felt that, okay, this might be something that was pre-existing prior to boxing with the football career. You know what I'm saying? Pre-existing that blended in with boxing and made it worse. Sean Porter is on record as saying that belts don't matter. All of a sudden, belts don't matter. Sean Porter is on record saying belts don't matter. Saying that Crawford and Spence is going to fight at 154. Sean Porter has been on record as saying, as a boxer, that everybody brags about when it comes to Errol Spence picking up that WBC title. He said he never really knew what Undisputed was, to be honest. This man said he never knew what Undisputed was. Now, look, Sean Porter has been in several conversations, you know what I'm saying, in his boxing career, where people talk about boxing. His dad is well educated, you know, about the format, you know what I'm saying? And it is difficult for me to believe that Sean Porter was not aware about what Undisputed was. He didn't have an idea about what Undisputed was. What in the Jesus goddamn Cheeto Fritos were you doing in boxing? Were you just going to training camp and leaving? Were you going to hit the mitts and leaving? What were you doing? I don't get it, man. How can you come out? Look, Sean. I'm gonna tell you straight up, bro. That has to be one of the dumbest statements I've heard in the last 3 years, bro. I'm talking about a boxer who is respected, that come in the ring in shape, a boxer who continue to get opportunity after opportunity after opportunity. You know what I'm saying? They never treated you like you was expendable. They always treated you as an asset there, Sean Porter. They always treated you as an asset, bro. I'm going to tell you straight up, bro. People who followed me, when I spoke about Sean Porter, I always made a comment. Like, even when he was going life and limb with Adrian Granados, I say, Sean Porter, man, he be using that head. Even before the fight with Terrence Crawford, I say, man, Terrence better be careful and watch out for that helmet. You know what I'm saying? That's a helmet right there. That's not your usual head. Sean Porter got a helmet. I've always said that Sean Porter was out in the field with his teammates, and he was the only one that was allowed to play with no helmet. I made light of that. I mean, months and months and months ago, I always made light of that. And now it's all coming to fruition. This man says, a boxer, I never knew about Undisputed. Sean Porter never knew about Undisputed, y'all. So he's trying to push that wheelbarrow narrative that belts don't matter now. What is the motives, man? What is the agenda for Sean to come out here and say belts don't matter? It's all about a tough guy with belts. A tough guy with belts don't mean anything. I'm not quoting him verbatim. I'm just basically giving you a summation, right? He said, all them belts don't matter. Now, we heard Mike Tyson say it back in the day when he had an interview. You know, he said, they don't matter. You know, the belts are nothing. But the belts is what made him. You know what I'm saying? A lot of Mike Tyson's boxing prestige came off him winning the world title at the age he did. Belts do mean something, but it also depends on what alleyway that we have to go as boxing fans to see the grimy, dirty, pissy side of false narratives that's being pushed out here in boxing. If they don't want a belt to matter, it will play out the way it did at the lightweight division with Devin Haney's title. That's one of the most intrusive ways that I can tell you of this modern era of a belt not mattering. David Morrell's WBA regular title mattered more than his title because they just boosted that man up like he couldn't do no wrong. But when it came to this franchise belt, y'all, Canelo was the first one to get it. And people say, okay, he coming off the WBC and Mal Charlo, you know, picked that up. No one was really talking about it. But then you start to pay attention to what happened in the lightweight division. That's when it all comes full circle in how boxing can make a belt disappear. They can make a belt disappear that's actively being praised in other divisions. It's actively being recognized in other divisions, man. But they pretty much shut it down in one division, the most. I'm talking about the most. The most. They didn't shut Deontay Wilder WBC down. Belts have to matter. Belts have to matter, bro. Belts do matter. It just comes a period in time where you have someone that's provided a different gateway to succeed or hit a different pinnacle in boxing. And you've seen it play out April 22nd. What Tank is able to do right now, everybody can't do. When Devin had that belt and people was doing lives after lives after lives after lives after lives, even myself. When I was trying to explain to people that Teofimo Lopez was undisputed, they said, well, Devin got the other belt. Well, they never took took it to its totality of what I was getting at. If Mauricio Sulaiman can make a franchise belt and provide it with what? Superiority and create some type of subordinate status to the belt that Devin Haney had, you have to look at it as such, even though it is not uniform across 17 divisions, 16 other divisions. You have to look at it as such in that division. Mauricio Sulaiman did anything and everything to degrade. I'm talking about dilapidate, break that down all the way, depreciate the value, turn into a HUD belt, turn into a foreclosed belt. He did everything possible. So he was able to do that off the strength of what? The franchise belt, right? So you say to yourself, every time I say that T.O. was undisputed, people say, no, Devin had the other belt. I know he did. But what I'm trying to explain to you is that Mauricio Sulaiman implemented a belt that allowed a person to have a sense of authority, had a sense of rank. The franchise had rank over the WBC only in that division, most of it. It had it in the other divisions too, right? I'm just saying we seeing it play out as far as the inferiority in the lightweight division. Tell me how that's possible. And people saying belts don't matter. Belts absolutely matter, bro. So for Sean Porter to go up here and take a stab at the welterweight division, we're sitting up here trying to wait for hopefully the fight is going to be announced. And Sean Porter is on some freaking delirium. He is on some freaking space dust type stuff. Sean Porter is out here just proving to us that, yeah, I did use my head a lot. And a lot of times I didn't feel a thing. But now that I'm retired, there's some moments in my life where I do see the little sparkly yellow, purple, neon red, you know what I'm saying, blue spots popping up. I do see little fairies flying around in a circle. You know what I'm saying? I do see little flashes of light. It is some things that's going on. I do see horses running up in the sky, cows jumping the moon, the sheep dancing. You know what I'm saying? Beating up wolves and shit. I do see that. For you to come out your freaking mouth and say all of a sudden the belts don't matter when we get to the welterweight division. After we just seen Charlo become undisputed, we seen Canelo Alvarez become undisputed. We seen Josh Taylor become undisputed. We just seen most recently Naoya Inoue become undisputed. I think just because it's what, a PBC, and Errol Spence potentially can't make 147, or however the agenda goes for you, Sean Porter, that you up here pushing that agenda, you are becoming the worst agenda pusher over there. I'm telling you, you are becoming the worst agenda pusher, period. I don't know what's going on over there with these fighters who are holding down a slot, but I can know one order that was given to them was, you better say some controversial and bring some attention to you so people can talk. To keep your job, to keep that seat hot. You know what I'm saying? If you want that seat to continue to be hot, you better sit up here and say some of the dumbest stuff we ever heard. And that's it. All of a sudden, Sean Porter, who fought Danny Garcia for the vacant, why you just didn't let it go? Somebody else would have liked to fight, WBC belt. Why you had to be a multi-time champion? I bet belts would have mattered if you picked up that WBO title. And Al would have called you up and said, hey, you ready to fight for Undisputed? You would say, hell yeah, I am. I bet that WBO would have mattered. Because you definitely would have got a call before you even got to the parking lot. Hey, before you even go to the crib, I want you to stop by right quick so we can talk about a fight day. Yeah, Errol's going to be here too. We're going to make this fight happen tonight. All right, I'll see you when you get here. They wouldn't even allow Sean Porter to go back to the crib. He would have went straight over to the office, met up with Errol. They would have dapped each other up. Yeah, man, we get to do it again. Oh, my God, I'm so happy. I'm so happy it's not Bud. Oh, my God, I'm so happy, Sean. Thank you. Man, Errol would have gave Sean Porter the biggest hug ever in life, dog. Think I'm lying. They would have gave each other the biggest hug in life, bro. Monty King Boxing, what's good? I be who I be on deck. The controversial side coming from a pro boxing fan, respect. It's counterproductive, WCS. It's like Sean just handed over the morals of boxing. Truth hurts, screw. Somebody needs to smack the like, subscribe, join. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. That's crazy. How can you say you didn't know about Undisputed? That's what he said. Sean Porter said he didn't know about Undisputed, but he knew about the WBC. He knew that he can fight for another title after losing his IBF title to Kell Brook. He knew there was opportunity out there. He knew when they presented him the opportunity, another one, another gateway, another open door policy to fight Terrence Bud Crawford. And he also understood, check this out, how I say this is Section 8 media by Sean Porter. He tried to pass that ghetto narrative, right? That when they told him to go over there and he was going to potentially fight Terrence Crawford, that the larger picture, if he won that, was for him to fight for Undisputed with Bud Crawford. Now, at that time, I know he pretty much knew what Undisputed was. I'm not really talking about him stepping into the ring and fighting Errol Spence if he would have won the WBO for Undisputed. But he was insinuating that as a boxer coming up, he never understood what, he never was educated or informed enough to know what Undisputed meant. He didn't quite get it. I don't know if he didn't get it because he wasn't in a position to fight for Undisputed. You're talking about a guy who fought at a higher division too at one point in time and spent most of his campaign at 147, even though he fought at the heavyweight class at in the AMS. Maybe he didn't know because he was never in a position to ever become Undisputed. That's hard for me to believe. You know why? Because just like us, from the outside looking in, we see what goes on. We see all the undisputed champions from whatever belt era they came out of. We seen it. Sean Porter's pops have been around boxing for quite some time. He's seen it. You think they haven't had a conversation about Undisputed? Sure they did, people. Sure they did. I don't know what Sean Porter is going with this type of intent that he's just saying things that don't make sense. You know what I'm saying? He's saying things that just don't make sense. I don't know, bro. You know, Sean, if you're listening, I don't know why you're coming off as if you got to say something that don't make sense. Like all of a sudden you're trying to downplay the welterweight undisputed and just take everything out that we're hoping is in. We're hoping it's at 147. So going off Sean Porter's narrative, that means Errol Spence should be vacating the title sometime soon. If it's not about the belts, and who cares about a tough guy with all the belts, then give us a date on when we can see the Boots, Ennis, the Virgil Ortizes, and everybody else is waiting to fight for these belts. Tell us when the vacation day is going to be. When are they going to vacate? When is Errol Spence going to vacate these titles? And when are we going to get the fight date? Since it's going to be at 154. And you know what? A lot of people be extremely upset, Sean Porter, if PBC attempted to pull a stunt off like this. Originally, we was told that Errol Spence would fight Keith Thurman. People looked at that fight as if it meant, it had no merit. It was calumny. But if you come out here and trying to imply that Terrence Bud Crawford and Errol Spence Jr. will be fighting 154 for no titles, there's going to be extremely high sense of anger across the boxing community. You implied that it's just going to be all about two of the best guys fighting each other. Two boxers that's on the pound for pound list fighting each other. That's what it should mean to the fans. That's what you was trying to push out to the public, those who was listening. It's just all about two tough guys. Two of the primary names, the premier names, the elite fighters in the same weight class, stepping in the ring with each other. That's what people want to see. That's what Sean Porter was trying to imply. He was trying to goddamn lead us on the look. He was trying to lead us on the highest cliff, man. He was trying to lead us to the highest cliff, take us to the edge, and say, I know what it looks like. It's not. If you take that next step, I guarantee you're still going to be able to walk across that gap. Don't look down, though. Just take that step. You're okay. It's not what it seems. I'm being honest. It's not what it seems. We don't have to look forward to undisputed because the Sean Porter don't matter. But yet and still, they just want to see two tough guys go in there and fight who's both elite fighters, and belts don't have to determine. It just based off bragging rights. It's based off what boxing is trying to give the public. That's what it's based off of. You know what I'm saying? It's based off a plethora of other variables to turn this fight into something bigger than what it is, other than the undisputed welterweight crown. All of a sudden, for the welterweight division, belts don't matter. Belts don't matter. All of a sudden, in this era of 2023, belts don't matter, because in 2022 it mattered. And what's even more effed up, what Sean Porter is saying, is that wasn't he the one that was there when Errol Spence fought Yordenis Ugas? If belts didn't matter, Sean Porter, wouldn't you have just stopped and said, I got to be honest with you guys. Errol Spence is fighting Yordenis Ugas, and I really don't know why. Because of my understanding, he wins this fight. Him and Terrence Crawford won't even fight at 147. They're going to be fighting 154 for bragging rights. That's really what it all boils down to, people. I'm telling you right here live on TV, belts don't matter. This undisputed that you want to see at 47, no, it don't matter. It means absolutely minimal at the end of the day. Well, what are you saying, Sean? Like, why is Errol Spence even fighting Yordenis Ugas if belts don't matter? I mean, just another championship. And plus, it's an in-house fight. That's all. So are you saying that we'll never see undisputed, at the end of the day, because Crawford's not signed? It's not worth us You know, if it was me, okay, this Sean Porter talking. If it was me, I wouldn't care about getting Errol Spencer a fight with Terrence Crawford because he's already a multi-time champion and he's already solidified himself, you know, at the welterweight division. You know what I'm saying? It's much more out there in the universe for him to accomplish. So am I going to rush back to the office and try to get this fight signed just because he got 3 of the 4 belts and he only needs 1 more? No. Come on, Brian. You know, I did this. This was my profession for quite some time. I did this. No, he doesn't have to. I'm going to be honest, Sean. That's not what the public is saying. The public is pretty much putting out there that they want to see this undisputed fight between Errol Spence Jr. and Terrence Bud Crawford. And you're telling me that has since changed. You know, I mean, Al is going to do what Al want to do. But me, belts don't matter. Come on, Sean, stop it. Sean, stop it. That's crazy. I can't even believe it. And why is the brothers, bro? Why is the brothers, man? I don't get it, bro. I don't get why, in order for you to hold a seat, you got to say something controversial. And then when somebody approach you on it, first you try to act like, when did I say that? I said that. I have to look at it. I have to look at it again. I said that. Well, what I meant then, I didn't mean that the belts don't matter. I just meant that at the end of the day, both of these fighters on the pound for pound list, and with or without the belts, people are going to come out and see them fight. So, you know, the belts, yeah, you can add them in there if you want to, but really they just want to see the fighters mano a mano fight each other. It just doesn't make any sense what Sean Porter is talking about. It makes no sense, bro. This dude is Looney Tunes 101, bro. Bugs Bunny, goddamn Flintstones, Scooby-Doo, Shaggy. You know what I'm saying? Tom and Jerry. It's a lot of animation going on. I don't understand it, Sean. Everybody else can become undisputed. For a long time, it was Jermaine Taylor. You know what I'm saying? The B-Hops and Crawford. But then you blend in the Usyks, Canelo, Taylor, in a way. You know what I'm saying? You start to blend in all these other undisputed divisions. Nobody was talking about belts didn't freaking matter. Nobody was talking about belts didn't matter. Nobody. But somehow the conspiracy is set in stone that we should downplay and just jettison Crawford Spence because, for one, yeah, it looks good on paper, but they ain't sold. They ain't did this, they ain't did that. But why just one division and its history? The division above them, he was able to get undisputed. He even had to do a rematch with the WBO champion to come back and get undisputed. I didn't hear this language going on saying that belts didn't matter when Jermell Charlo was going for undisputed, and he signed with PBC. Let me get to this chat. It's crazy. Get rid of the franchise and now elite veteran Sean Porter just disrespect something that could have hurt him from getting fights. It could have, but luckily, Sean Porter never moved up to 54.60 to be in line for that. But they did take care of him when it came to the ranking system. Then Martin King, they took care of him. Belts kept Sean Porter relevant, and his O on his record was gone a long time ago. Yes, sir. That is facts with a Z, X. You know what I'm saying? That is facts. How did Sean get his big fights? Because he was either a champion or was an X. Absolutely. Absolutely. What's going on with this guy, Sean Porter? What's going on? I don't get it, bro. This is not what I'm trying to hear right now. Media is so fugazi. I swear, man, media just has so much dang magical deception to everything that seems important to us. They try to break it up and make it and turn it into a psychedelic for the wrong reasons. Their psychedelic is not to help us. Their psychedelic is to hinder, to take us to even more darker place, so we can't really function as fight fans. That's what I get from it. We're not getting any help from these damn mainstream media. You don't know who to believe. They put out all these tweets, and it's nothing to be exact. Like, how often do you hear is, will? The fight between will happen. It's breaking news. Is going to happen at this date right here. You barely hear it, bro. Shout out to Mr. Gooch. To you on deck. One love to my guy WCS. You're cooking breakfast this morning. Salute to you. I appreciate you. One half of the apostles have entered the building. Yes, sir. What's good? Then they wonder why fans like me start talking crazy. I think, you know what I'm saying, people should be able to base their opinion, right? But also within that opinion, you should lock it in with some facts. You know what I'm saying? Not internally to your opinion, but in comparison to what you're trying to express. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's good or bad, whether it concerns you or not, you should dress it up with some facts and then give your opinion on your fact, on what you think, the way you think. Because Sean Porter's been around boxing long enough. He's been in the big fights long enough to understand that belts does matter. Now, if you're trying to push the narrative just because Tank has been able to break through, he's been able to infiltrate, breach to the perimeter of success on pay-per-view without holding the major titles. Every now and then you get a fighter that can come along and do it. Just like Floyd Mayweather was able to make all that money without having a single undisputed division to his name. Do you think people bring that up when they mention Floyd? No, they bring up his money, how much money he's making, how much money he's grossed over his career as a fighter. They're not talking about all that other stuff. Well, he was really trying to get undisputed before he retired. No, he wasn't. You know what I'm saying? Floyd has been an advocate that it's too many titles in the sport of boxing. When he was on Tank Davis's fight week, I think he had the fight week with Mario Barrios, was it? I forgot which fight week. When he went on a rant and talking about the sport of boxing need to be cleaned up. It's too many this, too many that. He's saying it was too many belts. You know what I'm saying? But to hear Sean Porter come out of his mouth and say belts don't matter, what is persuading him to come to this point all of a sudden? What's good? Got to listen from the beginning, but I'll start from here to listen. Thumbs up. Caps in full on deck, man. What's good? What's good? Sean will come out of retirement if Crawford beats Spence and was undisputed. Bud gonna say, no, you get no shot. I'm an exhibition boxer these days. Dang. Yes, sir. It's good to be global. You know what I'm saying? We global. We're reaching out to those who are on the extension of our olive branch, our media olive branch. Those who are miles and miles away. Joseph, what's good? Yeah, I remember. Stay safe, get better. MKB. Jamel Charlo undisputed was so beautiful to watch. A true American dream. I just wonder, when you hear people like Sean Porter talking that talk, right? And he's obviously respected in the game of boxing. But peep this out. He also has colleagues that work beneath the same umbrella where he's coming with all this crazy information. He has so many fighters over there in the PBC. He does. So I'm curious to know if any one of them reach out to Sean Porter and say, hey, what are you talking about? Titles don't matter. Like a Jamel Charlo who's over there as an undisputed champion. You're going to tell him to his face that those titles don't matter after he had a rematch with Brian Castano to pick up the WBO title? And you're going to try to tell him it don't matter? Absolutely it matters. Absolutely it matters to him because he said he made history. He made history. Jamel Charlo made history and will be a future Hall of Famer. At one point in time, Jamel Charlo was in the shadow of his brother. You know what I'm saying? Mar Charlo had moved up and became a 2-division champion. But due to the titles, Sean Porter, the titles, Mel Charlo has somewhat superseded his brother and become an undisputed, somewhat Maul have yet to accomplish that, Sean. So please explain to us, what do you mean exactly? It's such a frivolous freaking accusation or statement to make that belts don't freaking matter. All because it's dealing with Crawford Spence, man. It seems like to me, Sean, that you're participating in burning this down too. It's something else is going on over there that maybe has to do with the funding or somebody may not have money. I don't know. But when you hear someone come out here with your expertise, Porter, and say some dumb stuff like that, it leads to question if you sold out. Have you sold out, Sean Porter? Have you sold out? Let me give you my definition of selling out. You know what's right, but you okay with saying what's wrong. That's what's selling out. You know what's right, but you okay with saying what's wrong there, Sean Porter. Have you sold out? I'm just asking you this question, Sean. I know you ain't going to roll up like Timothy Bradley did. Timothy Bradley rolled up over Coach's channel and said, keep my name in your mouth. I thought that was gangster. I thought that was one of the most gangsters drive-bys anybody has came through and said on somebody's chat and kept it moving. It was gangster, even though he's hating on my guy, Jahad Tucker. He finally gave him an L, gave him some love. But I thought that was some man stuff. I thought that was man stuff he did. You know what I'm saying? But you, Sean Porter, you feel comfortable putting out frivolous information. You know what's right, but you're comfortable with saying what's wrong. You don't even care. As long as you get that paycheck. You want to get on the Porter Way podcast and take us to the Porter John. That's what it seemed like to me. Tune in to the Porter Way for the Porter John. And don't worry about flushing. Just wipe and walk. That's all you got to do with the Porter Way. Porter John. We're going to get you where you need to be. If you picked up a hamburger along the way and you got some fries, don't worry about it. When you come to the Porter John, it's going to be nice and clean, and you can just go in there and eat your meal in there while you handle your business. Hey, we got the cleanest facility around. Don't worry about me talking some BS. Nothing. This is clean media talk right here. We got speakers in there so you can listen to my last episode of the Porter Way podcast and all that. You know what I'm saying? We have a little small screen television for you. Just pay attention. Everything. This is high tech. I don't want to call the Porter John. I was going with it, Sean Porter. I want to be respectful. I don't want to call the Porter John podcast. Tony Harrison traveling all the way to Australia to try and win a shot at the WBO title. Talk that, man. You know what I'm saying? What is Sean Porter talking about, man? What are you talking about, Porter? What are you talking about, bro? Next thing you know, Porter would be giving seminar advice on what direction boxing is. Stop playing boxing. It's built into what it's supposed to be currently. Man, he better wake up, bro. That's what you get. Sean Porter used to be up there trying to be hard and be the most fit guy on the field. And they told him, hey, just like in Creed, I see you got your headgear on when he was about to step in there with Andre. I see you put your headgear on. Good. Goddamn Porter was on the field. No, man, I don't need no helmet. Get my gear. I don't need my helmet, though. Leave my helmet back there. Bro, you going to go head to head? You going to go head to helmet contact? Yeah, man. I'm built different. This is what I do. I'm built different. You know what I'm saying? Boxers who step in there. See, Adrian Granado's never been the same since he fought Sean Porter. For real, he never been the same. Sean Porter goddamn put that forehead on Adrian Granado's. It was a wrap. Changed that man's life. Bruce Gas Boxing Jazz, what's good? What's good, Bruce? What's good with OG? So, what do we have to expect next from Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence is the biggest question. People are insinuating that announcement will be made a couple of weeks. We don't really know. But understand one thing. Those of you that's trying to talk that talk behind the scene about the July 22nd date, we have been presented with so many dates that just take it as it is. That's why I demonstrate and showed y'all that you have mainstream media putting out information without doing research too. Some of these guys can write, but doesn't mean they're going to go through the extreme to do the research and to get the validated content to put into the article. Like I said before, I used to write for a mag at one point in time. I had to complete 3 articles a week, which isn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. You know what I'm saying? But all it has to do with attention to detail. You know what I'm saying? All you have to do is pay attention to detail and basically make the article interesting enough for people to tune in. And also, they don't want you writing as if it's a love novel. They want you to write for controversy. Most of the time, they want you to put something in there that tracks, that allows somebody to gravitate to your article. So when July 22nd popped up, and you had all these same channels who was more than willing to talk about all those other slots in 2022. Now all of a sudden, they're the advocates against July 22nd. Now all of a sudden they want to be morally accountable. No, you need to ask for forgiveness first, because all that fake news that was put out in 22, it did damage. It did damage. No one can prove that they had good intentions with all the ominous media that was put out last year. How nefarious and malicious it was. It tore down this fight to no end. I don't know why, but it happened to be 2 black fighters trying to fight for something and make you think like, who's really behind this fight? Why are they trying to tear down 2 fighters that's on the pound for pound list so much? And majority of the ones that's on this mission of black content creators. What's going on with these people? What's going on? Like, where's the therapist to sit up here and speak to these people while they're going through their mental health crisis? This can't be normal. You have multiple black channels that's all joined together to basically denigrate a black man in the media that is considered one of the top elite fighters. And then on top of that, it's a weird way on how they try to build a channel vicariously through this individual to get people to come to the channel that don't like them too, right? And then when a boxer finally, this is what I don't like. This is what I don't like, right? And the boxer is gonna get mad at this, but I'm you know, they always talk about keeping it real. I'm gonna keep it real as possible. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna keep it as real as a $3 bill. Seriously, I do. I'm gonna keep this right here real as a $3 bill. What I don't understand about you fighters, besides you putting out cryptic freaking tweets that I don't appreciate, because I can read and also comprehensively, I can figure some stuff out. I'm that old that I can do it. But what I don't like about you boxers, when it comes down to it, where do y'all think I'm going with this, man? Where do you think I'm going with this? I'm trying to give somebody a little bit of time. Where do you think I'm going with this about these boxers? Let me just give you a little bit of time. Besides tweets, what else gets you agitated about stuff what boxers do? Most of them big channels with no integrity or betas is all emotional, felt WCS. I agree with that. I do. Sickum Boys Fishing and Sports. Salute WCS chat and fam. What do you think outside of boxers putting out cryptic tweets would be one of the most disliked habits that they love participating? What do you think it is? For me, by being aware of who's just for the fight. What do y'all think it is? Besides them putting out cryptic tweets, April XX, April is gone now. We in May. Nothing memorable happened in April to go off that tweet. We at the end, nothing happened. Nothing. It's something else that boxers do. It's just, I don't understand why it happens the way it does. I'm just giving the opportunity, for the chat to kind of figure it out. It's us working as a team now. What is something else boxers do when it comes to them as people that they do? It kind of affects us too, as the consumers and the audience. Hold on, give you 1 second. Hold on. I'll be right back. Okay. Okay. Calling AI being passive for one by keeping their composure, stating that they can't disclose it. Okay, Samar, you're close. I have mentioned that before. You're very, very good point. Stating they can't disclose any information. I'm tired, sick of it all the freaking time. These boxers sit up here. I can't. Excuse me. We heard in the media that you have. I'm not at liberty to discuss. But is there any information that you can provide for me, because I'm really interested in attending that? You have to talk to Al for that. How do you have his number? I have my phone right here. You mind giving me his number? I can't do that. I can't do that. Right. What can you give us then? Because as boxing consumers, if we're trying to get information from the fighters, I'm like, how are we able to do this shit? How you want us to make it happen? It's fine. I don't know. But that's close. That's a mod. That's close. You know what I don't like? The main thing I don't like about a lot of these boxers is that when you have media that would dog them the F out, that's saying some critical stuff about them. Vice the media that has said positive. I'm talking about positive. Like, I look at all this stuff. What peeves me the most is when you have boxers who respond to negative media before they even respond to someone who's giving them positive media, who's giving them compliments, who's bigging them up. You know what I'm saying? Saying good things about them. You can't sit up here and give fighters their flowers. They always talk about giving them flowers. You giving the flowers. I give you your flowers, bro. I'm giving y'all flowers. Y'all would never recognize. Y'all act like if someone's bigging you up all the time and you say their name, they're clout chasing. But for the one that is clout chasing, and they are clout chasing in the worst way and defaming you and talking crap about you in the media, you would choose to acknowledge them people. And that just goes to show you good bows before evil all the time, especially in boxing, because these fighters love acknowledging people talking trash about them than the ones who's actually saying good. Because I've heard, like I told you before, all it takes is once. If I hear a fighter saying the WCS is clout chasing without actually looking at my catalog and know what effort, if a person is not putting in effort to cover the sport, we're talking about amateurs up to professional, and they just sitting at home, they're trying to build up this infamous channel. Okay, cool. But if you got a person that's out there on the roadway, in the air, you know what I'm saying, putting in work and dedication, hours, spending their own money, how can I ever be a clout chaser? How can I ever be a clout chaser? These fighters will acknowledge the voice of a hater, someone who's sitting up here saying nothing but malicious content about them. Every time you hear them in the media, they're belligerently speaking on this person, and they'll take the time to acknowledge them, which don't make any sense to me. I say that is the dumbest. You talking about keeping it real? Oh, well, you got to keep it real too. Keep it real with the fans who really support you. Keep it real with those who genuinely support you and putting out good information on you, instead of considering it to be deriding. This what these channels would do. They would talk forever and a day. They would pull back the bow and fire off the arrows downrange. It would just be an archery contest. Boom, boom. They keep on hitting the target. Negative comment after negative comment after negative comment, over and over and over again. Then these fighters respond to them. But you get somebody to say 1,000 good things about them and really rock with them. They act like they can never like your tweet. They see your pictures out there, they'll never like your pictures. Not all of them. I can name you every professional fighter that has took the time to like my picture or even comment. I know every one of them verbatim that see my pictures out there on IG, and they have just a little bit. I'm talking about just a little bit ounce of understand, like caring, just that ounce of caring to like your photo. And don't even think about, oh man, if I like their photo. And I know every one of them that never did. And they looking at it too. They see it. They will not like it, bro. They will not like it. They think I don't know what their thought process is. But that's the worst thing ever, man. You can say all the good things. You can provide them all the pleasantries, flowers, embracement, all that. And they will never acknowledge your presence, because we live in an era where people believe that if you mention somebody's name, you provide them some publicity. You provide them clout. Why? I thought it was all about being real. I thought it was all about being nice. But you can get people out here to talk crap about you, dog you out in the media. You know what I'm saying? Drag you across and that's when you show love. Somebody do a negative video on you time and time again, and you respond to them. Man, if that ain't the dumbest shit, I'm gonna be honest. That's the dumbest ever, bro. I don't care who don't like it. We're always talking about keeping it real. But I see boxers all the time that'll respond to negative information that's been said about them before they would even address somebody that's really saying something positive. That's why you appreciate the ones that look out. You know what I'm saying? Even the GWOAT. I put Carissa Shields stuff sometime. Even the GWOAT, man. I'll share her stuff on the story sometime. And she would like it at least. Jahai Tucker, him too. At least he would like it. Shoo Carrington. Yeah. Troy Isley. Albert Bell. Lopez even hit me up and freaking said, could I use this picture right here? It's okay. I sent him the raw images of that picture. Even Jamel Herring. It's not, you know what I'm saying, something outside your scope of being nice. You know what I'm saying? Being a gentleman about it. Somebody's out here working and they took a picture. They did media. They covered your fighter. You see it out there on IG. And they'll look at it and somebody tell you, oh, so-and-so made a compliment about your picture. But yet they won't like it. It's crazy. They won't like it, dog. Now, I can tell you the names that I know for a fact that saw my picture and wouldn't like it, don't say anything, because they feel that they're bigger than what they are. And if they say something, it's going to lead to something else. What about it's fucking support, bro? What are you talking about? It's support. I go out here and travel these airways, right? And I've seen several situations where media was talking crazy about a fighter and they want to address him. But the fighter that's supporting them and they want to be there to cover greatness. I tell these fighters, all I want to do is cover your greatness while I have a chance. Because truth be told, and is it going to be different another 10, 15 years for me? I'm not going to be able to do it. But I don't think some of these fighters mature enough to understand where I'm at with it. My experience level being all over the world, seeing combat sports in different countries, I have a deeper passion just to go see it for myself. I'm not too much of an online person, bro. I've always been able to talk, but not too much of an online person like this, expecting to be on the channel every day, all day. I'd rather go, mingle with the fighters, get to understand who they are as a person, what they got going on, speak to the team, stuff like that. Just like Larry Wade. Shout out to Larry Wade, one of the good guys in the game. I'm not gonna lie. Shout out to Larry Wade, man. Shout out to Rabisha Ramirez. He even liked my picture of him, you know what I'm saying, that I took of him on deck. Good people, bro. Very, very good people. I've heard over time, I don't know, it's just the way I look. I'm standoffish. I don't know what it is, but I've heard people say that I heard a couple of people tell me that so-and-so thought I was clout chasing or whatever. I'm saying to myself, and then somebody had to correct them, like, if anybody that's not clout chasing him, it's not him. It's not him. Because a lot of people won't know who you are, but they will assume. I'm just trying to get the interview. I'm trying to get to know, familiarize myself with you as a fighter. But when a fighter say somebody D-riding and you only met them twice, some insecurities is going on about that person. For real, some insecurity is going on. Like, how can somebody be D-riding? And they're trying to support you. They're trying to show love. And they always talk about black man this, my brother, black man. So you try to show another black man some simple respect, and they D-ride. And straight up, WCS say, fuck you. I don't have time for it. If you're going to say somebody D-riding, just all because they're showing you respect, and y'all always complain about how media be talking crap about you, but you get a news outlet. See, this is why I always highlight the ones that's in it with teams, embedded with teams, right? It's good to be embedded with team because regardless of what level, you learn certain things about the boxing. For real talk, man. I'm being as genuine as possible. You look at Shaw News, he's embedded with Team Tucker. And he's going to be there when he wins his championship. He's embedded. He's media. He's grown with them. He's in the gym and all that, right? I'm going to go through some media that's actually embedded in the gyms. YSM Sports. YSM Sports is in a position where he was there before Jaron Ennis was freaking world champion, and he's going to be there after he wins the belt. He has the fighting hole over there with Boots, who hasn't been a champion yet, but he's going to be. He has the luxury and the prestige to be able to cover this man on his way up. It doesn't get any more beautiful than that, people. It doesn't get any more beautiful than being embedded in the camp. Fight hype. Floyd Mayweather has allowed Fight Hype to be embedded and be the first responders to his information. Should you be mad at Floyd? Hell no, you shouldn't be mad. Because he said Fight Hype was giving him media attention when people was dogging him out. So Floyd took it upon himself to say, I'm going to reward you and I'm going to give you all the exclusives. I'm not mad at that shit, bro. I'm not mad, man. But see, it would be good if we can have more connections going on with black media and black fighters, and we're talking about blacks supporting blacks. We need more of the Shaw News and Jihad Tuckers. We need more of the YSM media. It's not a lot of media around here that's been embedded with these fighters prior to them becoming champions. It's not there. Like, I covered a lot of these fighters before they was even champions, y'all. And you keep coming around them and you try to show these dudes love. Grown man, like, shit, I got kids, nigga. I've been married. All that shit, man. I'm mature. I've been in the service. No, I'm showing you mad love, youngin. I'm showing you respectful love. And these dudes act like you clout chasing. Like, what the fuck, dog? Like, this just came across my mind. This just came across my mind again, and speaking about Sean Porter. Because you say belts don't matter, but the ones that I talk to on the come up, all they talk about is getting a belt. All they talk for championship. All these fighters I covered before they was even champions, bro. And I always talk about Teofimo Lopez. They provided me the opportunity. I can't help because, I start, doing YouTube more often, and I get people that want to talk and, want to hook up the Spanish connection and break that ties with them. It's all good. They can't take away what I already had, though. I covered him before he was champion. I covered Deontay Wilder while he was champion. Nobody can take that away from me. Nobody. There's too many that's out there. Being able to cover Keyshawn, his brothers, before they was champion. Being able to cover Richardson Hitchens. Before he even had that fight with John Bowser. I covered Hitchens when he was in Baltimore. When he was in Baltimore, man, he fought on the undercard of Tank Ricardo Nunez. I was there when Tank, like I said, before Tank had the damn armored vehicle. I freaking covered him before that. I just don't get where, if titles don't matter, why all these youngins always talk about they can't wait to win their first title. If titles don't matter, you know what I'm saying? Titles don't matter. You feel me? It doesn't make any sense. I seen Devin Haney down here in the A when he, and before he even had 10 professional fights on, if I'm not mistaken. I seen him fight down here in the A on a club fight. I seen him fight down here in the A. Before he even had any type of notoriety that he had today. The list goes on and on, man. Like, you try to show these black fighters love, but they say you dick riding. I'm showing you love as a black man, but most of the time it's there people around you and say, oh man, what's that about? Oh, they dick riding. We have a bad habit as black people when it comes to covering fighters, especially boxers, that they sit up here and say we dick riding. That's far from the truth. I'm showing compassion. I'm showing mad respect and love. And I don't understand why you boxers are always acknowledging people who dogging you the fuck out. You already in a freaking sport that you have to go through the rigors of training, right? So if there is someone who's showing you genuine love, you know what I'm saying? Like I can call up Charles Conway and say, what's up, Charles? Good dude, bro. Good dude. He'll carry on the conversation. Hey, what's going on, Charles? What you got going on? You know what I'm saying? I can run into Troy Isley to transform it and chop it up with him. I had the pleasure of speaking with Roy Jones and being down on this thing in his training, covering his people. I just didn't cover Roy. He was already out the sport, but I was covering his fighters, bro. Those are good people. Those are youngins. They was coming up before they was even professional, some of them down there covering his fighters, driving from Atlanta down to Florida, covering his fighters in sparring. But if belts don't matter, why every time I talk to these freaking fighters that's amateurs and going up to professional ranks, why in the hell they always talking about winning a championship? Maybe you can explain that to me, Sean Porter. Why they always talking about, oh, I'm fighting to get a championship. I'm fighting to get a championship. That's what I'm doing, fighting to get a championship. Of course they are. Of course they are. They're fighting to get a championship. We're talking about being able to cover a fight card, a thriller, seeing those fighters go in there and fight. I'm saying, I always tell anybody, I said, when you want to see the character, the way I grew up, we didn't have social media at first. So you want to find out the character of a person that you knew, you hung around them. You had to physically hang around them to know. You had to go out, football games, basketball games, and really see how they act. That's the way it was. The true test of a man's character. But now you see people online and you don't run into them that often. And then everybody tried to get angry at a person they never met in life online. It's just dysfunction all the way around. But once again, these boxers will see you in person. They would know you cover fights. And for some damn reason, they feel some type of way if you're overextending and say, hey, it's good to see you again, this, that, and that. They'll sit up here and tell somebody you D-riding. I never had a white fighter tell me that. I never had, look, as effed up as it seemed that people think about Teofimo Lopez, he's never said some dumb stuff to me. I always have a spot for Teofimo. Regardless of what he said about the black people, he ain't said anything that no black person ain't said about anybody else. But I was there before he was wearing the black jacket and the black jeans. He ain't have nothing. Small, frail, before he even got the sponsorships, before he did any of that. He never said I was D-Rod. I covered that man and he didn't know who I was, man. I covered him the entire fight card, and that man was nothing but respectful. Nothing but respectful. Look, you're supposed to change when you get fame. Forget it. You're supposed to change. But don't sit up here and say, okay, well, here go media that's covering us. And I checked out the channel, and they've been doing an outstanding job. They've been showing us love. Why the hell you can't acknowledge the channel? Like, acknowledge the person and say, hey, I appreciate what you got going on. I hear what you've been saying. But it has to be, the only way that happen is you gotta sell yourself and you gotta commit to just covering them all the time. No, you know why? Because if I'm doing it out of my own free will and I'm not getting paid for it, and you want me to now show bias every single time, it'll never work out. Because if you are scheduled to fight another fighter that I support, now it gets to a point where people want you to criticize the other fighter when you really don't have a problem with them. That's what happened when you get in bed, when you slide those sheets up and you get all nice and comfy and you say, let me think about what I got to say tomorrow on this media. What can I say to kind of break up our good relationship? Because I really support this fight over here. You will lose every single time, man, especially in boxing media. You have people going around here hustling channels, trying to make it seem like it's a black thing. But in reality, it's a they thing. You know what I'm saying? It's a them thing. They want all the glory. They want to be able to control you. You know what I'm saying? They want to. I remember the first time I ran to Sean Paul and his pops at the MGM. Black men, right? And you speak to them, and Sean Porter's a good dude, man. Real talk. His dad is straight to the point. Sean Porter's a good dude. Now, if you run into the Eubanks, that's different. But the Porters, in my opinion, they are who they are, man. They're good people. I mean, they're good people. Just like I said about Deontay Wilder. It don't matter what all the other stuff. You know, I don't have to be locked in with the LDBC to support Deontay Wilder. I don't feel no type of way about him being locked into the LDBC. I feel some type of way about some people that has represented the LDBC, period. I'm not going to hesitate on that, but that's nothing to do with what I think of him as a fighter and what he's shown me. He gives you what he chooses. He will step away from the interview when he feels like it. If they trying to let him leave and other people trying to talk to him, they say, hold up. He won't even say, hold up. He'll just stay there and continue to take pictures and interview. It don't matter what he feel or what I think he may feel about my comments about the LDBC. It don't matter. I don't have to answer to him. But I do appreciate being able to cover one of the greatest in this era. You know what I'm saying? I do feel appreciated. I am grateful to be able to cover him several times over. I'm never there. Look, I'm not the kind of person that want to be around you to go to your house. I'm going to be honest. I don't want to go to your house. I don't want to hang out. I don't want you paying for no trips. I don't want to go shop. I don't want to do any of that. You know what I'm saying? I'm a what you call one of them wolves that be up there on the. I don't need to do all that with a huge group of people. I don't need all that unless I know we have an unbreakable bond, and that's what we always gonna be through thick and thin. Cool, and you're not gonna let those that's been around you longer than me persuade you that I'm not a good person when you haven't seen it. I'm the type of person where I gotta see it. Let it happen to me. Let me see it. Let me see it first, and let me kind of deal with it. But too many times, fighters, I'm just gonna leave it at this. If a person like myself, as old as I am, is trying to cover you with respect, I'm gonna cover you with ultimate respect, and I'm gonna show you that love, and I'm gonna try to get you out there. And you know it's gonna be genuine shit. I don't need anything. I'm not asking. I'm good. You can never say I'm dick riding, and you can never say, oh, well, so and so trying to clout chase. I think it's the worst thing ever, and you black fighters need to take heed to that. If you want to talk about keeping it real, keep it real and ask Sean Porter why he's saying titles don't matter. That's what you need to do. Because all the fighters, like I said, all they want is championships. If Sean Porter's up here, black fighter who won championships, how in the hell are you going to be up here talking some nonsense like that? And all the young fighters I talk to coming up, they want to work towards a championship. Jahad Tucker wants a championship. All them other young fighters that you see coming up in these promotions, they want championships. From Keyshawn and Shushu, Jerry Anderson, Nico Ali, Xander, Troy Isley, Delonte Johnson. All these fighters, they want championships, bro. That goes for the women too. They want championships, bro. So Sean Porter talking, somebody need to give him a freaking blood check or something, man. You know what I'm saying? Y'all need to get a blood check. Let me get to this dang chat. I just think that's the dumbest stuff ever, man. A fighter can give you all the love in the world, man, and you're not even considered blood family. And fighters won't acknowledge your presence because they feel this clout chasing if they say or they like one of your tweets. Look at it. Just look at Twitter. Just pay attention. You say something good about a fighter, you say something bad about it, over and over again, they'll respond. He ain't lying. I think I said maybe 10 things about a female and a male boxer for the whole entire time on Twitter. Never got one response. And I've always stated who they were to be genuine fans. Hey, man, look, I'm not the most talkative person, you know, in person. You know what I'm saying? But I put it out there to the ones. Like Carissa is at the highest pinnacle. And she wasn't on no anything else. She wasn't on anything other than professionalism. I share her stories, and she finally, for a long time, she wouldn't respond, but she'll just like it. She'll just show her appreciation. She'll like it. You know what I'm saying? Because that's her content. Well, with the dudes, I told you, I can name every fighter that has liked the photo or comment on the photo and showed love. You know what I'm saying? They showed love. That's all it takes. Okay, damn, you're showing love, man. Some is here. Enjoy your surroundings. The boxers think for a minute is going to bat season. Take care of yourself first, people. But always watch boxing. I was straight down the middle with Crawford versus Spence, but then negative took over because fans couldn't stay neutral. You don't base your actions off what fans, even though we do respond to one another, Mon King. I have did it. I have responded to those who have came negative at me. Now, for those who are feeling some type of way about Crawford, they can't call me a Crawford sexual, whatever. I don't acknowledge that. But I see more aerosexuals that feel some type of way about me just because I refer to an aero fan as an aerosexual. I did not say you. If you're mature enough, don't put yourself in that category. If I say aerosexual, I'm just generalizing a huge, broad layer. And I didn't say your name, but I found out a lot of these dudes that support Errol Spence heavy, they get mad. FWCS, F that. I'm like, how can you say that, bro? We haven't mean broke bread. We haven't mean chill. You know, don't get mad because I be talking my on here. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't call you an aerosexual specifically, but you're proving to me you are. Tank Crazy, I like him as skills, but I'm not going to give him a pass. What you mean? You're not going to give him a pass on what? And listen, I'm not sure what you're talking about, Martin King, but this is what I think about cats like Tank, Crawford, Spence, fighters that really don't talk to the media. I get it, man. I get why they don't. Even with Deontay, the trash talking that was going on with him and how people was treating, I said, man, he shouldn't come back. I said this, and he came back and he wasn't talking to the media. There's no, man, you can go back and line up my live streams. I say the way they treated this man, the backlash he was getting, all this bomb squad he was giving them and love, genuine love and all that. He went through a period where he said, F it. I ain't talking to y'all. Y'all know I ain't lying. I said it. I said, man, he shouldn't even acknowledge the fans. Don't give him no bomb squad no more. You know what I'm saying? You go in there, to put your life on the line and everything, and these fans out here dogging you out, saying you got beat up, you're not who you say you are, just trying to erase everything you accomplished. So that's when you had the conference in LA, and Deontay wasn't trying to talk to Fury because he thought that the man tried to kill him and cheat. That's why he had Malik Scott up there. They ain't gonna tell you that. Nobody around Deontay camp can say anything that I was there to clout chase. And I'm gonna call bullshit on you. The reason I'm gonna call bullshit because none of you niggas paid for me to come out to LA. None of you niggas came to MGM. None of you came nowhere where I was to cover the champ. None of you. None of y'all. You can't say nothing. I say it all the time because that man took extreme amount of backlash, bro. Extreme amount of backlash. And I understand being to yourself. I wouldn't say introverted, but I used to stay to myself, man. And that's a good thing. Stay to yourself. You have low inventory. I'm talking about one or two people, you good to go. One or two people that you really kick where you stay to yourself, and y'all know who y'all are. Y'all know it's real between that. You don't need 10 of around you just hanging out. Just you unsure about this one character that's influencing another character. And before you know it, you got 10 friends and 7 of them you can't trust. You know what I'm saying? I just look at it like when Deontay chose not to talk, I said, this is exactly what I said. They don't appreciate you. Don't talk to the media. I know he heard it. Nobody can tell me anything less than that. I know he heard it. And he came back there, he wasn't talking to nobody because they didn't appreciate him saying bomb squad all the time, doing interviews and showing the fans that organic love, bro. They didn't appreciate it. So when he didn't talk to the media, everybody was over there with Tyson Fury. And though he went in there and lost a trilogy, still, you know what I'm saying? The man had a huge presence in boxing and the fans didn't appreciate it. That's just the way it was. Real talk. That's just the way it was. It's unfortunate. But these fighters who don't talk to fans all the time, I kind of get it. But also if you have some, media that's showing you love, that was there from the beginning. When I was covering Deontay, I ain't see no LDBC members on deck. I didn't see him like that. I didn't see him in fight camp like that. I'm just saying. Truth be told, I really don't have a problem with the LDBC. I don't have a problem with the LDBC because all the members are not on some BS. That's real talk. I have a problem with certain people in there. That's all I'm saying. But back to the task at hand, real life. Boxers, you say keep it real. Somebody keep it real. And then they get what? They get banned from getting credentials. And y'all already know what promotion that is. Don't get me started. I'm trying to stay on topic. What's good, Trick? What's good, Trick? No. I'm gonna make another comment while I'm cooking on the high grease, right? Somebody asked me, well, why you don't cover PBC like you used to or whatever. When I tried to cover the PBC fighters, it wasn't so much the fighters. Because Deontay Wilder was I tried to cover him during his biggest moments. You know what? I was denied. You know why I was denied? And this is coming from the higher ups. They can't deny it. They was grouping black media all together with the LDBC. Period. That's fact. That's truth. They thought I was with the LDBC at one time. I said, that's not true. And why would you be grouping us together? Oh, well, certain things happen with certain fighters. That's when the situation was going on with Fred. I don't have no problem putting it out there. They try to group us all together and start denying credentials, man. Real talk. Because they thought it was being passed off. Well, we ain't gonna let that person in. They were gonna let that person in. Majority of the black media that was coming out trying to cover the fights, man, been denied credentials on big fights. I never had that type of situation with Top Rank. Never, ever. Trying to go over to the PBC and show love to those PBC fighters was an obstacle course, bro. Was a firestorm. Seriously. It would give you one of the biggest migraines ever, man. Trying to sit up there and cover without being harassed. I got a video of one of those members over there, and you already know who she is. She harassed me because I had on a Deontay Wilder To This Day shirt on that I bought from his store when he opened the store that day, off Flatbush. I had it on, and I was waiting for the media, and I got there early, waiting around to get a good seat for the press conference, and she brought her ass up there and told me I wasn't getting into the press conference and all this other shit and got up in my face and all that. If that would have been me, this black man, if I would have got up on her face, she would have had me arrested. Porter gonna have some brunch show soon, talking about boxing has to be the beltless next. Smart said we are confused culture globally. We don't understand who we are and where we came from. So the crabs in the barrel mentality becomes deeply rooted. We don't respect the elders, and it filters in boxing. I wish we can use the name elder, but you don't even have the younger generation considering us to be elders, bro. You know what I'm saying? They'll just call you some crazy name as if just because you're at a point where they haven't reached yet, like they're at a point in life, they haven't reached that age of wisdom yet. And they don't even use as elders. Growing up, yeah, we refer to our older, respectful adults as elders. And they did, and we was taught to respect them differently. You know what I'm saying? According to the way you was born, some had to say yes, sir, no, sir, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, stuff like that. But you was respectful. You helped them out if you could. If they was eating at the table and y'all finished, you grab their plate and go empty their plate and put it in the sink. You know what I'm saying? You went over to your elders and helped, cut the grass and all that, trim the hedges, all that. But man, we don't have that today. We don't have that, man. I might go and pour the comment section. Ask him what he's talking about, bro. I don't know what Porter's on right now. Porter needs some help, bro. I know you're trying to keep your job or something, but for you to say belts don't matter at this juncture where you still have fighters trying to get belts, right? Knowing that belts help with the leverage of negotiation, according to what division you are and who you are. The stuff that's going on with Devin Haney right now is just unfortunate. But, boxing is just showing you how dark the weather can get. Because that man has every belt you can possibly get, but he is not recognized with the prestige of having that. I don't know what it is, man. Like, he never will get the prestige Canelo got at super middleweight. Canelo gets the prestige of being undisputed, man. Outside of the fact that he's a cash cow, man, people look at Canelo, oh, you undisputed. Oh, my God. You're the first to do it. Beautiful. He tripped real good. That's totally unacceptable unless there's a solution to making boxing fairer. Sport has to recant that statement. Hey, man, you might need to, just put that, in a tweet to Sean Porter. You know what I'm saying? And kind of see where he at with it. Sean News said they get emotion over EJ. They do, man. You know what I'm saying? If I never called her name, like, it shouldn't even be a thing, man. You shouldn't even acknowledge me saying aerosexual. Now, somebody basically told me if I was on a panel or something that I'm a bud sexual or whatever, that's a different story. And even then, I wouldn't really acknowledge it as something personal because that's just them being who they are. Shout out to Trick on Deck, man. Got the day off work. Thank God. Can catch up with WCS. Appreciate it there, James. Appreciate you, bro. No doubt. It was crazy. WCS Crawford had a raft that he had to weather because of YouTube folks. Yeah, he had a raft he had to get past. He still ain't got past it yet. He still hasn't got past it, And then I don't understand why they are not talking about Spence. How does Spence name become more populated in the algorithm of the YTC to when people start to put his name in there, they link him up with Crawford in a good way than a bad way. But if you put in Bud Crawford's name a lot, it's always dealing with some negative, and it's all black men. It's all black men. Day in and day out, annually. I don't talk about Spence every day. I don't talk about him every day. But when I choose to cook him in the hot grease, people will know it. But I don't talk about him every day like they talk about Bud. Wilder was appreciated until he didn't talk. But that's because he won the third fight, I'm assuming. Well, pretty much he wasn't talking while he was in arbitration during the third fight, between the second and third fight. Why? Because it was so much hate coming his way that he lost and, people was turning his back. You know how that goes, Martin King. Like, yeah, all these people was talking trash. He felt like, dang, why should I go up here and love the fans like that? I'm not saying he stopped loving the fans. All I'm saying is he just went through a period like any human being would. He had to take a little pause and say, let me reset for a minute. Let me regather myself. Let me reorientate my mental compass. Let me calm down. I'm hearing a lot of, look, I just took a loss. I'm hearing a lot of disrespect. He went through that one fight. And then when he returned, from that trilogy, he was back to old Deontay Wilder smiling. You know what I'm saying? Bomb Squad, all that. You know what I'm saying? That's what he was, man. That's patented. That'll never go away, y'all. That'll never go away.
Bomb Squad!
It'll never go away, dog. Know that. I'm glad there are real boots on the ground, boxing integrity and real journalism. For sure, man. For sure. You already know. Frontliners, man. Top Rank is professional. Absolutely. Absolutely, man. They act like you can't get mad and tell the truth, man. Yeah. They was up there disbanding media that they thought was with the LDBC. That's truth. That's not made up. That's fact. I was told that by a person that worked there when all that stuff was going on with, the public bashing of Al Hammy. That wasn't me. But they don't know from anybody else. Oh, this black media. They weren't improving credentials, man. I gave up, bro. Y'all remember Wilder opened a store in New York? He was hot. Agree? Yeah, I still got the interview from that. Man, shout out to Wilder. Had some very, very good merch up in there too, man. I am Cam Edwards. What's good? We are interested in gaining our media credentials to cover boxing events over at ITC Boxing to you at WCS. Hey, like a lot of people tell you, Cam, it is not easy to become acclimated. You have to actually put that lens to work, or your phone. It has a lens too. Put your phone lens to work and cover and do an interview, even if you're not going to the fight. Just basically put some stuff out on your YouTube. And then when you submit your credentials, you drop the link for which you was covering the fight. It takes a little bit of time, according to who you are, to get them to acknowledge you and accept you on a regular basis. It's tough. But once you get in, you're good. Just ask Showtime. We've been through the trenches. We've been through the trenches of getting approval. Before I was covering, I covered the PBC and Top Rank. Then I just had to I'm covering straight Top Rank because PBC don't want me. You know what I'm saying? They want to group everybody with the LDBC. That's not the LDBC. And to be honest, I can't sit up here and say I've seen LDBC members doing anything wrong. Even Fred. The only time I really seen Fred in person, he just said, "What's up?" We had a short conversation. Just a short greeting. That's it. But if they have a problem with what he said back in the day, that's them. And I know he don't group himself with the LDBC or whatever, but I'm just saying, at that point in time, they was the non-credentials because of the backlash that was going on with criticizing the top Grand Poobah. You know what I'm saying? So they was denying us entry, bro. Certain companies some companies move like a circus. They love clowns. Absolutely. I agree, Showtime. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Exactly. What are prospects fighting for then? Hey, ask him that. What are prospects fighting for? If they get a title, look, you see these fighters wearing international titles. You know what I'm saying? You see them wearing continental titles, the WBF title. You see these fighters wearing these titles, man, with pride because they earned them. They're not even the big titles yet. You see a fighter win a WBC Intercontinental title. They wear that title, man. They bring it with them. They're proud of that. Even they win an interim, a WBC, WBA, they win an interim title. They wearing it. So to say that titles really don't matter, I don't know what Sean is talking about. Please help us out, brother. How belts don't matter when Porter was a champion before as well as tried to regain another title. That statement is a complete contradiction to his whole career. Facts, bro. Facts. Look, how are you going to have it 3 times, Cam? How are you going to win the title? Right? By defeating Devin Alexander, right? I believe. How you going to win a title? lose it, be put in position to fight for a vacant, win it, lose it, because you had the opportunity to unify, right? So you went in there to fight Errol Spence. Let's just say Sean Porter would have won the IBF title. He would have been WBC and IBF title holder, right? He probably would have had to fight Errol Spence in the rematch. But let's just say it's not the case. What if he would have fought for the WBA title if Errol Spence didn't? Now you're talking about Sean Porter being a unified champion, right? I guarantee you he wouldn't have been talking that BS he was talking now if he had the opportunity to step over there and fight Terrence Crawford, a good friend of him, for undisputed titles, and he knowing he about to get more than $4 million. I bet he wouldn't have been talking that. And Bomb Squad just made my son jump out his diaper. Hey, man, that's what that Bomb Squad does, man. That's original. That's a classic, dog. You know what I'm saying? Especially when it's your own footage. That was nothing like getting ready to watch a Wilder fight. Those were the happiest days in modern day boxing. Yes, sir, man. Yes, sir. I agree, man. What would the narrative be when Bud beat Spence in the YTC? They'll do it just like that video that came out that they try to say was a TikTok video. They'll get quiet and they're going to talk about cricket. You know what I'm saying? Air hockey. You know what I'm saying? Ping pong. These guys are going to sit up here and talk about football, skydiving, timber sports. They're going to talk about everything besides that. I'm serious. Just like they was quiet about that video and they wouldn't talk. You know, if you look at the last several months, they did nothing to build this fight up. They're still not doing anything to build it up. They just talking, denigrating Crawford in the media, having all this negativity to speak on him about. And it has no effort to build up the fight, really. So to me, them guys truly don't want the fight to actually happen because they know the results. They know that Errol's in deep, deep trouble. They know he's in danger. You know what I'm saying? Let me show you something right quick. Let me show you something right quick, y'all. Y'all hit that like button if you're in the house. I appreciate it. See the aerosexuals, right? Let me pull this up right quick. This was the reality that they know this happened. That's why the fight continued to be pushed down, because this particular person has to lose weight. Period. So if you're talking about a fight being fair, you know what I'm saying? And people believing that it's fair enough. No injuries. None of that post-fight Ryan Garcia, my rib was injured. You know what I'm saying? My rib was injured. And he hit me in the same place my rib was injured. Man, please. I don't know. This seems like a recent picture. I don't know, to be honest with you. But this may be one of the reasons why the aerosexuals cannot be fully committed to thinking that Spence will go in there and defeat Crawford, because Crawford is going to be homing in and sharpening his skills. Why Errol Spence in a recent video is layered up like an ebony seal. You know what I'm saying? He looked like he has deep sea diving gear on, trying to shed those pounds. You know what I'm saying? That's Errol. That heavy bag looks comfortable. The heavy bag up here like this. That heavy bag up there like tickles and tickles. Stop. That tickles. That tickles. Stop it. I don't know. But, you know, hopefully he gets down in weight. I'm not going to keep this up too long because I don't want people, you know, feeling some type of way. Okay. Let me keep it moving. W says, what would the narrative be? Okay. Are they fought for that title, blood, sweat, and tears, regardless of the belt? For sure. Once Crawford beats Spence, the narrative will immediately become about all of the injuries and car accidents, so they won't give Bud credit because EJ was never 100%. But one thing I can say about that, Cam, is that the credit we can give Crawford right now is that he's been undisputed already. That's one thing that's not even a bragging right between him and Errol Spence, because Errol was never in that weight class. He didn't beat Errol to get to that title with Julius Ndongo. You know what I'm saying? He's been undisputed already. So with that being said, he's got the t-shirt and he's been there, done that. It was Errol Spence that was on record saying that he was going to become welterweight undisputed. And he was on record, the post-fight of Yadinas Ugas, saying, Crawford, I'm coming for those effing belts. So if you're coming for them, where are you? I mean, how long does it take to come for the belt? It's just one itty-bitty belt. It's just one itty-bitty belt. That's all, bro. You know what I'm saying? If you was able to lift, why you act like you need a spot for this one? You should be able to take this and lift it too. Now you act like you got to get two people. They stand on that left side right there. Stand on the right side right there. Yeah, he think he fight one person tonight. He ain't. I mean, it looked like they want to be on some Nancy Kerrigan type stuff, man. Tanya Hardin. God dang, I'll say, hey, Terrence, watch your kneecaps, bro. They plotting and planning, bro. Son, why is it taking them so long to come over there and get this belt, bro? Martin King Boxing, what's good? $2 super chat in the building. Appreciate your time and insight. No doubt, Martin King. One love to your brother for your support and your hard-earned money. Thanks for the donation, brother. Thanks for the donation. Showtime said, Sean Porter just trying to be like Timothy Bradley. He knew that statement would get the people talking about him as a commentator now. Just make a controversial statement. True words, man. And, you know, Timothy Bradley, man, he has been on record. And, you know, he does say some outlandish, But I'm going to keep it nice with Timothy because I want him to continue to big up Jahai. You know, being he finally, you know, inserted him into a quota on his top prospects, you know, this climbing the ladder. It's a list too late there, Tim, to be honest. He should have been on there already. You know what I'm saying? Should have been on there already. But we forgive you, Tim. We forgive you. Real talk. We forgive you. But don't make it a habit, big dog. Come on, Desert Storm. Don't make it a habit, big dog. I know. Name a time when Crawford looked out of shape. Hey, I don't know, man. I don't know. Hey, regardless of if you think it's Photoshop or not, Showtime, look, he has to lose that weight, bro. He has to lose that weight. For real. Don't raise your hands all at once. Friendly camaraderie. Trick, Showtime, that is not Photoshop, my brother. So shout out to Trick Nolte, man. He said the photo is not Photoshop. And he would know. Hint, hint, hint. he would know. You know, if he's telling you it's not Photoshop, hey, you know what I'm saying? It's my source who dropped it to me. He said it ain't Photoshop. I'm gonna take his integrity. You know what I'm saying? That's what we're looking at, man. We're looking at a camp that he's gonna have to shed some weight. He has that sauna suit on. He's trying to shed that weight, man. You know what I'm saying? But to the Spencer Harlots, all I wanted to do is kind of show them their idol. It seems like my viewership dropped down at that point in time. All I'm saying, Spencer Harlots, please, the aerosexuals, don't run when I show your leader. Dang. If you don't want to see him like that, just, dang, man, just wipe your eyes a little bit. Let me take that down because they don't like that, bro. They don't like that. Captain Full G on deck, man, with the $5 super chat in the building. What's good, brother? Enjoy listening to your great content. Thank you, Caps. Thank you, brother. Pass the word. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all. Told y'all this was Undisputed Fat Camp. Hey, man, I'm just trying to be nice the entire live. It's been like 2 hours, and I kept it nice. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Caps Full $5 super chat. I appreciate you, brother. And y'all need to, you know, really ask and address Sean Porter for bringing up some foolish, making a foolish statement like that. It was foolish. Truth be told, it was absolutely foolish, man. We respect you for what you put into the sport there, Sean. We respect you for that. But stop acting like there's a voltage problem up top. Stop acting that way. Any other time we feel that you are a very smart, intellectual person, you know, you couldn't wait to get back to your commentary chair, and you couldn't wait to, you know, to jumpstart the Porter podcast, all that. But don't give us the impression that now that you all relaxed, there's some mechanical issues going on above your shoulders, because you just can't sit up here and make comments like that on live TV just so you can have something to talk about on the Porter Way podcast. Is it the Porter Way podcast, or are you trying to turn to the Porter John podcast? We want to come there and listen to solid content, and I like listening to your podcast, but don't turn it into the Porter John podcast there, Sean Porter. Don't do that. You're better than that, bro. Don't start to cycle off controversial statements just to get adverse reactions for viewership. Now you pretty much say, I don't care about integrity. I'm gonna do what I want to do because I actually laced up the gloves, y'all didn't, so I can say what I want to say. No, brother, you have to stick to what got you the respect of the people. Every time somebody mentions Sean Porter, they say you're a good guy. Sean Porter's 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 a good guy. Now that you've acclimated, you settled down, you know what I'm saying? The radiation of the thrill has subsided. You're getting used to hearing less screams and cheers. Don't play around with your audience, bro. Don't do it. I wouldn't recommend it, bro. You know, keep it high capacity. Keep us tuned in. But you're gonna have to then revisit this one way or the other there, Porter. That's all I'm asking you. Revisit you saying that titles don't matter, and what's so good about pretty much labeling. Oh, you just got a tough guy with a lot of titles. Who cares about that? A lot of people care. Else, in a way, wouldn't have fought Paul Butler for the Undisputed if titles didn't matter. Bam Rodriguez wouldn't have moved up and fought Carlos Kudros if the titles didn't matter. Cool Boy Steph wouldn't have fought Brandon Figueroa to unify if titles didn't matter. I'm just saying it's a lot that matters with titles that's still active this day and time. Regis would have never fought for the WBC if it didn't matter. Josh Taylor wouldn't have came off and vacated the titles if it didn't matter, because you know he had to pay all those sanctioning fees. And he just didn't want to come out the pocket, so he had to come off of them. So good for him, because now other champions get to take the slot. But just to make it seem like, well, it's Crawford Spence, they're gonna fight at 154. Well, goddamn it! The next time you go on your podcast, give us a date on when Errol Spence is gonna vacate, so we can start looking forward to Boots Ennis fighting for a title, just like the 140-pound division. We can look forward to all these other sanctioning bodies, WBC, WBA, and freaking WBO or whatever, for other champions to start fighting. Let us know when he's gonna vacate, man. If not, you know, we're gonna get turned off a little bit. But hey, that's all I got, man. I would definitely check in with y'all another time. Y'all stay close, stay safe out there, man. It's a lot of crazy stuff that's going on, especially when it comes to boxing. I am going to talk more about, you know, the Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua fight. I wish this fight could have happened when they both had their titles and was undefeated. It would have been one of the biggest fights in boxing history. But due to politics of boxing, you know what I'm saying? You know, just due to the time where Eddie Hearns was in the same position as Al Heyman. Eddie Hearns wanted to keep those titles as long as possible. He wasn't quite sure at all that he wanted to send Anthony Joshua over there to fight Deontay Wilder. You know what I'm saying? But, man, they still have value in their fight right now. Even with them having several losses to the boxing legends, they still have high value in the heavyweight division. I think this fight in December, man, once the press conference takes off, I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, I can hear it now. You know, Deontay Wilder, he's definitely became a stronger person in going through the trilogy with Fury. I do believe that. I'm talking about as a man and as a fighter, he became a stronger person because he did face adversity a lot. But with Anthony Joshua, I'm just curious to know how this damn presser is going to be. Like, is there going to be camaraderie, mutual respect, or is it going to be something that's rekindled from back in the day that Deontay is going to remind him of all the excuses that they gave not to fight him when they was undefeated? That's what I want to know. I want to know if they really are going to get heated. Are we going to get the Tony Harrison, Jamel Charlo energy during the press conference? That's all I want to know, people. That's all I want to know, man. What are we looking at? What are we looking at? We're gonna get that energy. That's all I want to know. Bomb Squad! I'll already know, man. I'm up out of here. Turn up and tune in to World Combat Sports. Like, share, and sub to this channel. I appreciate you. Thanks for the donations from Molly King Boxing and Caps in Full. Salute to you. And we should do this later on. Once again, I'm out. Salute.